Hello everyone. In this video I will tell you how to read the clock in German. First of all, some important vocabulary. A clock and also a watch is both eine Uhr in German. And the time as seen on a clock is called Uhrzeit, literally clock time. Hour is Stunde, minute is Minute, and second is Sekunde. But you don't use the last three to give the time. To ask the time, you either use Wie spät ist es? Or Wie viel Uhr ist es? Now let's look at how to read the time. A full hour will be read like this: the hour of the day followed by Uhr. For example, 3 o'clock is drei Uhr. 4 o'clock is 4 Uhr. With the number 1 it will be ein Uhr, not eins or eine. The noun Uhr makes the S disappear. Any minutes can be added after Uhr as a simple number. For example, 3:12 is called 3:12. 6:54 is called 6:54. The official way to write the time is hour, minutes, Uhr, even though you read the Uhr before the minutes. In English you count the time 2 times 12 hours for one day, but Germans usually count it as 24 hours. So after 12 o'clock, the next hour will be 13 o'clock and then 14 o'clock, and so it continues until midnight. Midnight is called 0, 0, but at the full hour you can also say 24. Here are some examples. 14:30 Uhr, 18:40 Uhr, 23:59 Uhr, 0:15 Uhr. We can, however, use the 2 times 12 method as well. Like for 1 p.m. we can say 13 Uhr or 1 Uhr. If you want to explicitly say AM or PM, you can add morgens for AM, sometimes also vormittags. And for PM, it depends on whether it is the afternoon, after 12 nachmittags, the evening, after 6 abends, or the night time, after 10 nachts. For example, 6 a.m. is 6 Uhr morgens. 1 p.m. is 1 Uhr nachmittags. 6 p.m. is 6 Uhr abends. 1:20 a.m. is 1:20 Uhr nachts. There are some special short forms for 15, 30 and 45 minutes. These are only used with the 2 times 12 method. Let's look at 30 first. This is different from English, so watch out. Germans think of 30 minutes as half of the following hour. So 2:30 is expressed as half of 3 in German, halb drei. 5:30 is halb sechs. 1:30 is halb zwei. The next thing is 15, a quarter of an hour. What is a quarter? It is 1/4, right? Now, if you've seen my tutorial on numbers, you know that 1/4 in German is ein Viertel. We use this noun without the article when reading the time. We say fourth after the hour. For example, 3:15 is Viertel nach drei. 7:15 is Viertel nach sieben. 1:15 is Viertel nach eins. Now, as for 45 minutes, that is a quarter to the next hour, right? Germans say fourth before the next hour. For example, 2:45 is Viertel vor drei. 7:45 is Viertel vor acht. 12:45 is Viertel vor eins. Now, there are two ways you can use the time. To simply give the current time, you say es ist, it is, and then the time you've just learned. For example, es ist 4 Uhr. Es ist 4:32 Uhr. Es ist 4:30. Es ist Viertel nach zwei. Es ist Viertel vor sechs. The other way is to say when something is happening. To do that, you use the word meaning at, followed by the time. The time comes at the temporal position of the sentence. Let's look at some examples. Ich esse 7 Uhr Frühstück. I eat breakfast at 7 o'clock. Er geht 18:30 Uhr nach Hause. He goes home at 6:30. Wir treffen uns 3:30. We'll meet at 3:30. Now, there are some more useful short forms with vor and nach, before and after. 2:05 can be called 5 after 2, 5 nach 2. 2:10 can be called 10 nach 2. 2:20 can be called 20 nach 2. 2:40 can be called 20 before 3, 20 vor 3. 2:50 can be called 10 vor 3. And 2:55 can be called 5 vor 3. You can even call 25 minutes 5 vor halb and 35 minutes 5 nach halb. All of these short forms are more or less only used in spoken or colloquial German. Let's repeat what we've learned. You ask the time like this. Wie spät ist es? Wie viel Uhr ist es? You can read the time like this. The hour, then Uhr, then the minutes. You write it differently though. You write it hour, minutes, Uhr. You can simply say the time with es ist, or you can use it in a sentence with at. Both 24 hours and 2 times 12 hours method can be used. AM and PM can be translated by morgens, nachmittags, abends, and nachts, but are rarely used. There are casual short forms for every 5 minutes of an hour. They can only be used with the 2 times 12 method. They are 5 nach, 10 nach, Viertel nach, 20 nach, 5 vor halb, halb, 5 nach halb, 20 vor, Viertel vor, 10 vor, 5 vor. Okay, now you know how to read the clock. There are 2 more things that might be interesting that I will write in the description. Tschüss!